welcome back to the diary. So I'm here to discuss the popular moment on Pop the Balloon. But if you haven't seen it, let me refresh your memory.
I'm 35.
And what do you do?
I just graduated from USF, Go Bulls, as a doctor for anesthesia.
Nice,
So,
congratulations.
thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we got a doctor in the house.
Catherine, 31.
Okay, Catherine, why'd you end up popping your balloon?
I know you said you're a doctor, and I think that's great. I know you said you recently graduated school, something along the lines of that, and I'm looking for someone a little bit more seasoned in their career, a little bit more financially stable and things of that nature. So I did appreciate everything you said. It's just that.
So if you're interested in the tea, stay tuned. Hit the subscribe button, like, share, all of that good stuff. And I'll wait. All right, so now that you did that, time for the tea, right? All right. So first off, Roman was the third man that came out. The two men prior to him, I stated, were not my type, my physical type, and that I didn't have any attraction to them, right? Okay, cool. So this is the third man now. Now I'm getting nervous. BM and Arlette have now set me up to say all of these men I'm not attracted to based on what I'm seeing. So I started to get nervous. And he wasn't my physical type when he came out. Okay. He stated all these great things. He was a doctor. Okay. He just graduated school, which was wonderful. Wanted to kickstart his career. And I appreciated a lot of what he was saying, so I held on to my balloon. But in my mind, I definitely thought of the attraction and it wasn't there, but I also wanted to continue to give him the opportunity to speak and hear him out. But then I was battling some things, right? So ultimately, when Roman came out, I wasn't attracted to him. That was my initial, but I did want to hear him out. I did want to give him the opportunity. I did want to at least hear what he had to say. And also, I was conflicted. I was conflicted. So, what I meant when I stated when I popped the balloon. Okay. They come to me and basically I say that he has a wonderful career and that's awesome. But I just was looking for someone who was a little bit more seasoned in their career and more financially stable. So where I messed up was, first off, I didn't mean it how I stated it. How it came out was just wrong. I basically said that he wasn't financially stable. I don't know Roman from a can of paint, right? I don't know what his situation is. And really, that's not my business. I feel like that wasn't the reason why. I feel I was, what I meant when I said that was I was thinking more so like flexibility. I was looking for someone who was more so in their career so that their next step would be a family, a relationship. I don't blame someone who just gets a job and wants to pour into that job. I say kudos to that. I would actually push you to do that. I think that's the right thing to do. Me personally, yeah, you can multitask and pay attention to multiple different things and, pour into different outlets in your life. And I understand that, but I just didn't think that with such a rigorous job that he would have time for a relationship, especially a long distance relationship at that. That was just my opinion. So I was thinking from a place of flexibility. I know when I first started my career or my job, previous way back when, I was overworked. I would be asked favors, to do favors. And because I'm new, I'm going to abide by that. I'm going to save face. I'm going to, put my best foot forward. I'm going to, what are my connection network? That's going to be a job in itself. Like, that's just what I thought. And maybe I assumed based on my experience. And I could have asked questions, but ultimately I wasn't attracted to Roman. So Basically, it wasn't my place to speak on financial stability because I didn't know his, that's not what I meant. And he didn't say anything that led to him not being financially stable. He's just now getting into his career. That has nothing necessarily to do with his finances. That's just the, you know, his start of his career. Okay. I was definitely wrong in saying that, and I could have left it as seasoned in his career because I knew I was speaking more to flexibility, but of course it didn't come off like that, right? Extremely nervous, lights, cameras, action all around. So I said, it's so funny because when you go back and see what I said all of,
I know you said you're a doctor, and I think that's great. I know you said you recently graduated school, something along the lines of that, and I'm looking for someone a little bit more seasoned in their career, a little bit more financially stable, and things of that nature. So I did appreciate everything you said. It's just that
I said all of these things to turn around and say, but that's all. When someone offers information like, oh, that's all, or like they say things that the person doesn't necessarily ask for, it's very questionable to me. I'm like side-eyeing that person because I didn't ask you for that information, but yet you said that's all. We know that's not all. And I think a lot, some people definitely picked up on like, that's not the real reason. Why didn't she just say the real reason? I was definitely trying to spare, not necessarily spare, but I didn't want to continue to have the response, I'm not attracted. I'm not attracted. I just didn't want that. Like I ultimately was thinking about what people would be saying. Was I thinking about what people would be saying? I just didn't want to be that girl, I think, like that's not attracted to anyone because it's not always about attraction. It's just that in this space, you kind of have to work with what you get. And I just didn't see myself with any of the men that I popped on. I shouldn't have cared about like how it was perceived. If the man wasn't my type, if I did not see myself with these men, then I should have been well and content with saying that. And that was my mistake and where I went wrong. So now, I saw a lot of the comments. I saw a lot of the questions, comments, and posts about what I said when I popped it on Roman. So I just wanted to address a couple of things. So some people are like, she doesn't even know what the anesthesiologist is. First off, no, but I do work at a medical malpractice firm. And another thing was like, a lot of people kind of got the fact that I didn't like, I didn't gravitate toward Roman due to, appearance or something along the lines of that. But yeah, I saw a lot of comments and I was just like, it was hilarious, don't get me wrong. And I do appreciate all of the constructive criticism. And I definitely learned from that. So this is a PSA to all those who think that they should spare someone's feelings by telling like a half truth or not the whole truth. Girl, let me be your example. Tell the person the truth, the whole truth. Like, I mean, people are gonna say whatever they want. At the end of the day, they're gonna come up with their own conclusion, their own perspective. So just be 100% authentic regardless. And I definitely learned from that. I will not be sugarcoating. I will not be half truthing moving forward. So yeah, so definitely a learning lesson. The negativity I did see, but of course I don't pay attention to that. The constructive criticism I do appreciate, and then all the positivity and love. Yeah, just thank you guys so much. But yeah, this is a topic that I thought was funny, something that I wanted to address, and something that I just wanted to clear up, just so that there's no nuances around why I popped it. There's no questions. Ultimately, I just wasn't honest. And, for next time, I will be. So thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe, and please comment down below that I'm not the only one that has done this. Please tell me a time where you kind of had to sugarcoat or tell a half truth just to spare someone's feelings, or so you thought. I'd love to hear about it. But until next time.